Hey, welcome back. We are here for the top 8. I'm joined by Brennan Crawford. How you doing?
Hello, hello. Yeah, good. Well, could be better, but very good today.
Well, I mean, today didn't go as well as yesterday, right?
Yeah, got ninth place today. Missed on breakers. My breakers were not good, but that's fine.
That's one spot behind the good spot.
It is. I was hoping for the back-to-back, but look, we'll take it. I can't be too mad about yesterday.
Jig wants to know if Jig made the top 8. No, Jig, you did not make the top 8 today.
That's what a Brennan looks like. Mr. Verbal says in chat. Yes, it is.
Yeah. What were you playing today?
I basically have only played one deck for the past year.
Okay.
I played Grixis Oracle today.
Sure.
A lot of people were very big on the Oracle deck before some point changes a couple of months ago. I still think it's very good. I enjoy the play style, so mostly what I played was umming and ahhing about some different things today, but ended up on Old Faithful.
I mean, playing what you know is always good.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm going to cut you short. We're going to get down to the table.
For sure. Absolutely.
Alright, here we are. A very grayscale table today.
Apparently.
We don't need the timer on there anymore. That was for the time extension. We have Trent Clarke on the left, Ethan Bird on the right. We saw Trent playing before. Trent was playing 4-color pod. You could call it Ephemerate, you could call it something. Omnath Pod, we're going to call it this round. And Ethan Bird, we only know one deck that Ethan Bird has ever played in his life.
He does only play one thing, I mean, but he plays it very well.
When you have a Mox Ruby, you've got to flaunt it.
You absolutely do. I played against Ethan many a time in Highlander, and he does one thing, and he does it very, very well.
Yeah, we see Ethan presenting the Lutri as well, which kind of does suggest that we're correct, and there's going to be some red spells, but we'll wait for the first one before we change the deck name here. Any updates on techs in the top 8? That is a great question. We have Isaac Egan versus Glenn Shanley. That is Tolarian Academy against... What was Shanley on today?
Mono green with Black Lotus. I'm not sure if you would call it ramp. Mono green mid-range.
Sure. We have Tom Solito versus Alec Ferguson. Alec we saw before on Esper. Tom Solito was on something blue-red.
I saw blue cards. I have not seen the majority of his deck, though.
Okay, he's definitely on blue-red at least. I loaned him at least one card.
Of red persuasion.
And, alright, so what else is in the top 8? There is... who did we just see win? Rob Lark versus Trent Armstrong. We saw Trent Armstrong before on mono red. Rubyless red.
Rubyless red.
And Rob Lark, of course, was playing Grixis. Just good old Cass.
Very expeditioned out Cass,
And what's the last one in the top 8? I think I've come up short there on that one. I'm going to run out and find out. Talk about these mulligans. What's Trent hoping for?
Alright, let's have a bit of a squeeze here. Yeah, so obviously I have to imagine Ethan is playing mono red. Can't imagine he plays anything else. Trent is... I'm unsure if Trent is on the play or the draw. That'll matter a ton though. If Ethan is on the play here, it's going to be a massive deal.
You know what the fourth match is? This one.
Oh, sure, there you go then. Nice.
The one we're watching, that's
fantastic.
Right,
look, I'm not going to say that I didn't realise that either.
Doing it live.
Do we know, is Trent first seed and Ethan is 8th seed, is that correct?
Whoa.
I believe Ethan told me just before when I got 9th place, unfortunately, that Ethan was 8th, I think. So that'll put Trent on the play.
I think Trent was 4-0 after winning the round 4 feature.
The usual for him.
So 4-0-1 would lock up first or second, I would believe.
Yeah, so Trent being on the play in this matchup is huge. If Ethan was on the play, that's downhill battle for Trent for sure.
I mean...
it looks like a multi 5, is that correct?
I definitely saw 2 cards on the bottom.
Yeah, that's tough for Trent. See how we go. There are definitely draws from the Omnath deck. This version, I believe, does not have Time Walk, which does make it a little bit harder.
Yep.
There are definitely draws from this deck that can outpace red. See how he starts.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many haymakers in the main deck.
Absolutely.
Oko will decimate red on its own.
Yeah. Oko, Uro,
Omnath.
Yeah. All of these cards may or may not say gain some amount of life on them, which is quite good.
Yeah. We're just going to pop back into the booth for 1 second here. Just going to see if we can make this camera a little less grey. You get to lose the feed before we lose cut the camera. Always great. We're back here. Yeah, like we watched Trent Clarke against Trent Armstrong before. Trent was Trent, the other red player in the top 8.
Okay, yeah. And a lot of mono red today.
You know, there wasn't any life gain in the sideboard, and that's because it's all just main game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Oko, Omnath, all of these cards having incidental life gain is massive deal.
And they're not just like gain 1, gain 1. It's
exactly.
Gain 3, gain 4.
Yeah.
Make another food. Make another food. Make another food. So...
Yeah. Oko being 2 points, obviously, its meta share of that card specifically is down a fair amount, but the people who do put the points into it do get rewarded against these aggressive decks.
That's exactly right. Being asked what Brennan's shirt says, it says "Thy Art" in the Friends theme.
Thank you. It does say "Thy Art." Yes.
We're back down to the table. We're a little bit less grey now. We've got some colour on the screen. That's brilliant. That's what we want. We're not watching a mud matchup here.
Well, there is an equipment, a colourless equipment in play by the looks of it. It looks like a clamp.
Turn 1 clamp is... I mean, clamp's not the best card in this matchup specifically.
Oh, Ethan starting on Ruby. Ooh. Of course. This is why he plays the deck. Oh, double 1-drop. What is that second 1-drop he just played?
Is that
the werewolf from Innistrad, the flip one mana 1/1 haste? I can't remember the art on that card perfectly, but if that is, I've not seen that card in a while. I think it was original Innistrad 1/1 haste and flips if a spell is not cast, I believe.
Yeah.
Into possibly a 2/2 or a 3/3. I believe it's a 2/2. Yeah, I believe that is what it is. Can't really say it super well. I can't say I've seen Ethan playing this card before, and I have played against Ethan many a time, so that is definitely an interesting one.
Look,
might be a new addition.
You've picked the card. I'm pretty certain that's the one as well. I'm quite certain it is,
yeah. I believe it flips into I want to say 2/2.
Let me see if we can dig it up here.
Trent
Signed Mox as well, absolutely.
Yeah, of course. He loves his red decks.
And here's the thing, right? If you're starting on a Mulder 5, and your opponent's like, alright, here's my 2 1-drops on turn 1.
Yeah.
Is that?
Not right, yeah.
It's not that one.
Looks like Trent is just Arid Mesa. I feel like he was about to pass and then realised the werewolf will flip. So it looks like he might be reconsidering casting a spell here.
Sure.
It does look like it's for the... Yeah, it is the 1/1 that becomes a... Can I see it? Can't make out if it's a 2/2 or a 3/3. I believe it is a 2/2. Yeah, so this is a 1/1 haster, whereas and the Goblin Guy being a 2/2, of course.
Yeah, it's got haste instead, hey?
It does.
Oh, it's not Reckless Waif. Reckless Waif doesn't have haste.
Does not. That is a 2/1 that flips into a 3/2, I believe. Got a factory from Ethan here. Creature lands are always very good, especially in a Mox draw. He's down. He's down actual cards. So having a land that is a creature. Alright. Here's the Phoenix. We've got a reader, as with everyone else. This card is a jumpstart card.
On the screen, Village Messenger.
There we go. It does flip into a 2/2. I was right.
Yeah, we're gonna transform that baby as it is transformed on the board. It does have menace.
It does have menace. Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
Easy.
The menace got there though.
Now, what were we reading?
So Trent is reading. I believe every opponent that Ethan plays against also reads this card. Card's Lightning Phoenix.
All right, we'll get that one on the screen as well. It's in my search history.
Jumpstart All-Star. So 2/2 haste. Can bring it back from the graveyard if you've dealt some non-combat damage this turn, I believe. It's damage in general. It's in my search history, so I've had to look it up before as well. Yeah, I was speaking to Ethan past couple of weeks, and I was going to get some non-English cards altered into Japanese, and Ethan is in fact he asked me to get him a copy of Lightning Phoenix altered, because you can't actually get a foil copy, and Ethan is very into his foils. Yeah, loves his foils. He does. His Mox Ruby's not foiled though. I know, a tragedy truly. Yeah, I only signed, it's whiteboarded. Right. Why even bother, really? No, looks like he's cracking in for 4 here. He's doing quite well. Yeah. Obviously, the Phoenix getting pathed is good for Trent in the fact that he's obviously stifling the damage that he's taking, and exiling the returning creature is quite good. Yep, absolutely. Giving him land when he's got a factory Not the best thing in the world, but, you know, have to do it, obviously.
I'm going to see if I can get the
Ooh.
dice moved onto the screen here now.
Got a Skyclave. That's a nice way to try and catch up here, for sure. So I'm going to exile one of these. Looks like the 2/2 Menace, obviously. So Ethan's just... Doesn't look like he has a ton of cards in hand. Maybe 3 or 4 cards now after draw step.
Yeah,
Does have this loot tree to get as well, though.
The ruby does, you know, put a dent in your cards.
Sure. Looks like he has a Chain Lightning in hand and another Mountain. I can't really make out the rest. Chain Lightning, very, very good here. Looks like we'll see the Chain Lightning, perhaps? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's going to get a 1/1 out of the deal.
Only a 1/1 at least, not... So it's downgrading the 2/2 Menace into a 1/1 and stripping a burn spell from his hand. So on a multi-5, you know, Trent will take these trades.
Yeah, absolutely. The path for the Phoenix, though. Yeah,
that was very... Yeah, that was very good for him. It could have only been better if it was, you know, Swords to Plowshares, but...
and an Earthshaker Kenra.
Yeah, so another haster, and he is activating the factory. So in for 6. Started the turn with a 2/2 in play, now in for 6.
Wow.
And he is packing it up.
Dunsky. Trent just looks at
Not
his
a
top
fan,
card. No, this isn't Uro.
Yeah, no Uro, no Oko, no Sword. You know, no double spelling that turn or anything.
That's
so
right. We'll pop back into the booth and we'll talk about Trent's sideboarding here. I'll read out the sideboard. You can tell me what you like from it, hey?
Absolutely.
Alright, Trent's sideboard. We have 4 blasts, 2 red, 2 blue, obviously. Veil of Summer, Dispel, Carpet of Flowers, Return to Nature, Dovin's Veto, Masked Vandal, Ashiok Dreamrender, Timely Reinforcements, Force of Negation, Fiery Justice, Nimble Obstructionist.
Fiery Justice is a nice one. Love that. Yeah, so I definitely think he's going to be bringing both Blue Blast and Hydro Blast. Those are pretty obvious inclusions. I can see things like Dovin's Veto maybe if he wants to try and fight over the burn spells. Depends on how many cards he has to cut from the main deck.
Yeah.
Not a huge fan of Veto, but it's definitely a possibility.
I think it's tough because if you're playing Veto, you're not being proactive.
Absolutely, yeah. Holding up 2 mana is not really where you want to be against the red deck.
Exactly right. I think you need to be playing to the board.
For sure, yeah. I definitely agree. Like I said, it mostly just depends on how many cards Trent has that are just, you know, atrocious in the matchup.
Yeah, absolutely.
I haven't looked over exactly every main deck card. There might be a couple of cards that he can cut. However, Timely Reinforcements and Fiery Justice are definitely coming. Those cards going to be incredibly good here.
Yeah, can't be understated. Timely Reinforcements, we saw it again in the Trent versus Trent matchup.
Trent mirror.
Yeah, but I think this one, I feel like Ethan's deck is a little more creature-centric, which means that the Timely Reinforcement's gonna just have that little bit of extra value in the blockers.
Absolutely. Ethan's version of Mono Red, I think, is quite different to a lot of the quote-unquote stock versions. He has made a point, he's very vocal, I should say, about his build of Mono Red being one of the better ways to take the deck.
Sure.
So yeah, he has Magus of the Moon, Blood Moon, both main deck.
Wow.
Not sure if he has them today specifically, but in the past has been main decking both, and he's on Wasteland and Strip Mine as well. He's a big fan of the Mana Denial package. And,
alright.
Still does have a lot of burn spells. I believe I was talking to him the other day, and I believe that he said for these events he's not going to be playing the card Lava Spike to make the point of Mono Red does not just go face. Is what he has said to me.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Lava Spike, very one-dimensional. Yep. Although we did see it take out a Planeswalker before, but that is
nice. What was it from Ethan, or was it from the Trent? Yeah, I'm not 100% if Ethan is or is not on Lava Spike today. That was just something that we talked about.
To be honest, neither am I. I'm hoping we magically get a Decklist sent to us, but alas, it's not here yet.
Well, at least I do know a lot of the cards in Ethan's deck because I play him very regularly, so give a little bit more insight, hopefully. But
I mean, what we could expect to see, you know. Red blasts are a bit iffy in this sort of matchup.
Yeah, for sure. Against this 4-color deck, there are obviously very good blue spells, but...
Has he previously played Rampaging Ferocidon?
Ethan has played that card before. I can't remember off the top of my head if he's still on that card.
Because I think that card's really good against bans.
Absolutely. He's definitely going to be playing things like Sulfuric Vortex, for example.
Yeah.
Ferocidon, I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, anything that says Trent can't gain life, probably going to be in the 60 for games 2 and possibly 3.
Now it's worth mentioning as well, in the Trent mirror on stream before, Trent Clarke leaned really heavily on Sword of Fire and Ice.
Sword, interesting,
as a
yeah.
huge sort of trump card against red, you know, just unblockable.
Yeah, for sure.
Slap it on a questing beast, you take a billion, I'll draw a card.
Kills all these little creatures,
Kills
so
all the
even if he
creatures,
does remove
yeah.
the sorted creature somehow.
So Ethan only saw the Skull Clamp game 1, didn't see
Yep.
Birthing Pod, didn't see
Yep.
Sword of Fire and Ice.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure whether Ethan's going to be expecting the Stoneforge, the Sword of Fire and Ice.
Can't remember which lands Trent put into play. I would imagine that Ethan has probably seen Trent around during the day and might have a bit of an idea.
And that does happen when you get to the top 8 of these events.
Absolutely.
You know, the odds of it being a surprise are very low.
Yeah, so yeah, I didn't realise to begin with that Trent actually has this Stoneforge Mystic package, which is quite good. Skull Clamp should probably give that away. What's he got to get with that? Skull Clamp, Sword of Fire and Ice, like you said.
I think those are the only two.
Does look like the only two in the main deck, and none in the sideboard as well.
Yeah.
Those are obviously very good to fetch, though. No Umazol's Jit, anything like that.
Shite would be backbreaking here, absolutely.
Yeah, that is quite good against the mono red deck. Might not help on the Multi 5, as we saw last game, but...
I mean, that's worth mentioning as well. That first game was a bit of a walk, but at the end of the day, it was a mulligan to 5.
Absolutely.
It was a mulligan to 5 against a Mox opening.
Exactly. Like, even though... And he was on the play, which in that spot, unsure if it's good or bad, being down the extra card, obviously good to be on the play against the mono 1-drops haste.
Yeah,
sort of decks.
I think if Ethan was on the play with a Mox, that'd
Yeah, I think that game was, for sure. I think Trent honestly put up a much better fight than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Being on a multi 5 and, you know, not affecting the board for the first turn. But having the path, the Skyclave, you know, he definitely had a lot of good stuff there to try and fight back. Ethan's draw was exceptional, though. It was very
really good. The double 1-drop, not just double 1-drop, but double haste.
Double haste 1-drop. Mox Ruby is just...
huge.
You spend a bunch of points on it, put it in your deck, you draw it, you're very happy about
You
it.
spend more than just points on it.
Yeah.
You gotta spend,
Also true.
you gotta spend a few dollars
Also
on that
true.
one.
Oh,
A little bit easier when you're playing online, of course. But in paper, you know, and these events are all sanctioned, you know. We're here for Tabernacle Games, 3-day Eternal Weekend.
Zero proxies.
No proxies allowed. Yesterday there was a Legacy event won by some handsome guy named Brennan.
Whoever that one is.
Today there's a Highlander event. Tomorrow there's another Highlander event. And I'm not sure if there's any tickets left for tomorrow. Today did sell out.
Have a look. Yeah, 32 players, so it's fantastic.
Yeah.
All the way there.
Let's have a look. Tomorrow, 1 ticket remaining.
1 ticket for tomorrow.
If you're local, or if you can get yourself to an airport, you should buy out
Got
that
the
last
time.
ticket. The event starts in 19 and a half hours. See you there.
Plenty of time. Looking at Trent's deck list here, I'm just trying to have a bit of a think on what he's going to cut in this matchup, actually.
Yeah. Ethan on a mulligan to 6 here.
Mulligan, alright.
Important to note.
So,
Cards that might get cut. Watcher of Tomorrow.
yep, doesn't block.
Doesn't block.
Super well, yep.
Yeah. Spellseeker might be too slow. I wonder what
Yep.
the Spellseeker's actually in here to get. Is it just Ephemerate?
It's not getting Time Walk yet, Ephemerate. If you're playing Eternal Witness, does not look like it. Obviously,
Wow,
not having
okay.
Time Walk, there's no
Sure.
infinite turn
Spellseeker.
package there with the Ephemerate.
Spellseeker over Eternal Witness.
Yeah, interesting.
Where are the points in this deck?
I was just thinking the same thing, actually.
Going down the list,
What?
I see.
So he's got a Birthing Pod.
Clamp is 1.
Birthing Pod is 2. Oko is 2, so that's 4 points total.
Snapcaster.
That's 5. Renin 6 is 6. So
Is there a Wasteland?
I say 6 points.
Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Jason Miles. Alright, there's
Wow.
our 7 there.
Jace.
Yeah, Spellseeker definitely an interesting inclusion without the Time Walk package. That's a lot of what it's for. I'm used to playing Spellseeker in my own deck, which gets Demonic Consultation and Tainted Pact.
Great. You're fun.
Yeah, look, I try, alright? Yeah, but obviously getting cards that, you know, mostly read, find this combination of cards to win the game.
Yep.
Quite good there, but even I wasn't playing Spellseeker today. I did think that there was going to be a lot of aggressive, more tempo-oriented decks today, like aggressive styles of blue-min or blue-red tempo.
Yep.
Mono-red decks like we've seen a bunch on camera today.
You know
and
what
it
we're
is
not
very
seeing in this
slow.
list?
What's that?
We're not seeing a pile of counter spells and Eladamri's Call.
That is true.
know.
There's not a lot of instance in this deck.
Yeah,
sure.
Eladamri's Call is sort of the payoff if you're playing a bunch of counter spells. It's
Yeah, so
the
you can
nice,
hold them both,
easy,
yeah.
grindy, you know, I'm going to make sure that I can counter your thing. You didn't? Oh, okay. Eladamri's Call for whatever my boss monster
Absolutely.
is today.
Getting in an Uro, a Hull Breach, Questing
yeah.
Beast, Palace Shell, lots of great hits for that card, but
There's a few counter spells in the deck, but not
not a lot, yeah.
a pile of them, you know?
they are a little bit awkward in these, 3 to 4 color green mid-range decks that do a lot of the time want to tap out on their own turn. But because of all of these mana dorks, like the Absence Pilgrim we see on screen here, you do have surplus of mana. You can hold up 1 and 2 mana interactive cards while also deploying threats.
Yeah, I think that's the line. I think that 1 mana interaction.
Yeah. Cards like Spell Pierce are fantastic.
For me personally, like when I'm playing a deck like this, 1 mana interaction, and I do it quite a lot. In the blue-red aggro deck that I've been playing, I've got 1 mana and 0 mana interaction.
For sure. Here's the Spellseeker we see on turn 2, fetching a Hydroblast by the looks of it.
Okay.
That's good here. That's definitely good here.
Yeah.
Ethan's starting on Barbarian Ring, so not sure if he has any basics. Does look like he has a basic in hand. Unsure if he drew it for turn. Probably wouldn't lead on a Pain Land on turn 1 if he had the option, so maybe keeping a land light hand or a hand of something like Barbarian Ring and like a factory, like a creature land of some sort. Does look like he did draw the mountain for the turn if he didn't already have it though.
Now, you said before that Ethan has main deck Moon and Magus.
Both Magus and Magus of the Moon and Blood Moon are cards that have been in his main deck as far as I can remember.
Can we talk about that little...
Searing Blood. Oh,
that little number there?
That is nice. That is a good one. That's gonna Dome Trent for 3, remove his... Albeit it's only a 1/1 blocker, but it is a blocker.
Sure. Yeah, I mean...
excuse me. I thought it was killing the Spellseeker. It killed the Pilgrim.
Yeah,
that's
you gotta get the
so good. Oh, that's disgusting. That is very good.
Searing Blood and...
getting a 2/2 in. He didn't block with Spellseeker.
Searing Blood and its older
value.
brother, Searing Blaze.
Yeah.
The perfect cards for this...
very good.
For this, words. Line. For mana dork decks, that's
Absolutely.
the best 2-drop you can have.
Does in fact still have the Watcher of Tomorrow's in. Obviously, it's card advantage and does trade with the small creatures from Ethan, but obviously coming into play tapped is not great.
That's the key, yeah. Like it is going to 2 for 1. It is going to take a card, hide it underneath it, and it will trade for this Zergo Bellstriker
at some point. Yeah,
but that's next turn. Granted, maybe Trent thought on the play it's good enough.
Trent tapping looks like a Savannah, I believe, and Tundra for this Watcher of Tomorrow is holding up the known Hydroblast that's still on the table there that we see. Interesting that he tapped the Tundra, not the snow-covered island.
I could see a line where he's worried about Wasteland your thing.
Absolutely.
Go to combat, second main, a 2-drop insane card.
Yeah. Also thinking about things like Magus and Blood Moon as well, turning up the Tundra.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, yeah. So he could try and bluff something like an Ephemerate, a Path of Swords by leaving the Tundra up. Right? I do like this play to protect from a bunch of these cards that are very likely to be in Ethan's deck, like the Moon effects. And you see the Wasteland here, actually. So, did get paid off for that play. Looks like he's killing the Savannah with the Wasteland, though.
Yeah, I mean, the Tundra takes Trent off double white.
Yeah, but the Savannah obviously taking off green with the Dork already dying, though it was a Pilgrim.
Yep. Looks
like a suspended Rift Bolt here.
Don't need the dice for that card, just leave it there.
Yep. Yeah, Ethan is very big into that card and light up the stage. He just kind of leaves them on top of his lands.
Yeah.
He's very particular about his play. I do like it. His board states are always nice and clean, easy to read, so that's very good. Still do see this Hydroblast in hand though, so it's not like Trent is on E. There's like 3 other cards. Can't really make out what they are.
Yeah, holding him close to his chest. Yeah.
Good place to have them. Looks like a Path to Exile in hand actually. Wonder if he had that last turn and made the conscious decision to tap the Tundra there. Definitely interesting if he specifically had the Path. Fetching with Misty by the looks of it.
Yep. Looking to cast a spell this turn.
Yeah.
To keep that Village Messenger from getting angry at the world.
For sure. I think he's tanking on this a tiny bit to see if he's going to get basic, forest, or a duel. I believe his list does have a basic of each sort in it, I would imagine. It does look like 1 island, 1 forest, 1 plains. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. This is a 3-drop. It is timely.
Oh. That is timely.
Yeah, fantastic. I was going to make the joke if you didn't. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, that is very good. He's back up to, it looks like 17.
Yeah.
Gonna get a bunch of 1/1s, bunch of Geodudes by the looks of it.
Hey, what's your favourite Gen 1 Pokemon?
Favorite Gen 1 Pokemon?
Yeah.
I don't know. Gen 1 and Gen 2 were obviously my first couple. I love them both. I'm a big Blastoise fan.
Sure.
Also a big Mew fan.
Alright, on
But
the
I-
record.
I feel-
Blastoise and the mythical.
I feel like Mew is kind of closer to a cop-out answer. The Legends are so cool in that.
Yeah.
I also love an Articuno. Again, a legend. Too many legends.
I mean, mine's the Geodude family, so I'm a big
There you go,
fan of Trent's
fantastic.
tokens here, you know?
To be fair, I do also like Jolteon a lot.
Jolteon's a cool dude.
Everybody loves some Eevee evolutions,
That's
right?
right, yeah.
Yeah, these Geodudes looking to put in a fair amount of work here, though.
Currently, they just trade with the entire board on the other
They
side.
do. Wonder if given the option here, say Ethan like just makes an attack here, do you think Trent is more likely to try and trade off all of his tokens, or maybe try and trade off the Watcher to try and get the card that's underneath it?
I think that entirely depends what's underneath it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, even then, I think I'm tempted to trade off the Watcher anyway. Yeah, like, just having the 2 power, if you can chuck it in front of Zergo, and the Rift Bolt going at a token.
At a 1/1, really doesn't want to give this Watcher of Tomorrow's card to Trent here. That's very interesting.
And notable that the Rift Bolt means that the Werewolf is not transforming this turn.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely.
It has been cast this turn, even if Ethan displays land, add Lutri. There was a spell, so
yeah,
that
does
Werewolf
count as
staying there.
cast.
It's a human.
Yeah.
Too many people watching, you can't transform.
7-point scoop in the chat
Was that a strip mine?
saying as long as someone made the joke, look, we aim to please.
Is that an Expedition strip mine? Is
That
something
is a
Ethan
foil
plays?
Expedition strip mine. He's
Very cute.
partial to using that copy. Yes,
Oh man, there's 2 different expeditions of
there
it
is.
now?
This is the newer copy from the last Zendikar
Thanks,
block, I
Wizards.
believe. Yeah, this one. Here we go.
Yeah.
And it
So
is a foil
Wasteland
copy.
into strip mine. That's pretty
Yeah,
brutal.
like I said, the mana denial plan.
Yeah.
Ethan is obviously quite capable of some incredibly fast kills with Mox Ruby draws like we saw the last game. But like I was talking about before, the Wasteland Strip Mine Moons packages does a lot of work against these, 3 to 4 color green mid-range, mostly base green mid-range decks.
Yeah. And Karizev, we did see it on screen in the Trent mirror before, and now we've got it in Trent against Ethan.
Ethan is a gigantic fan of this card and makes the same exact joke every time he casts it, which I will not say on stream. It's nothing bad. I just don't want to give him the satisfaction.
Cool.
This card's very good. Having Menace makes it very hard to block, and First Strike as well, of course.
So message Ethan Bird on Discord if you want to hear the hilarious Karizev
It's not
joke.
funny. It's not funny. He just yells about the monkey that he puts into play.
Okay.
Ethan's great though. Ethan's
Sword of who and what?
great. This is a very good hit here. Tapping out of Hydroblast to do it though. These Wasteland and Strip Mine effects have been obviously very good at putting Trent on the back foot a bit, but he's keeping up pretty well.
That's exactly the thing, right? The curve of this mono red deck is incredibly low.
Very low. I think tops out at 3 for
Yeah.
Ethan's version, yeah.
And even then, like, there's only going to be 1 or 2 3s in the deck. You're not going to
absolutely.
be seeing 5 or 6 3 drops.
There's no Hell Rider, nothing. None of those cards. Who needs them?
Hell Rider.
Who needs them? I love me a Hell Rider. Don't get me wrong, but
On
Ethan's
the other
very
hand,
partial to lower cost cards.
Trent's deck does have a couple of 5s. It's got a pile of 4s. It's got
Much
a pile of
higher curve.
3s.
Obviously, he's built to take advantage of these with, a pile of, like maybe 5 to 6 mana dorks, those kinds of cards. And obviously, Omnath, Titania, Palastrella, Glorybringer, all of these cards are incredible. When you put them into play, they help you stabilize so well most of the time. Putting multiple bodies into play, killing anything,
The Earthshaker Kenra's back for another round.
This is an attack. What is this? This looks like the Ragavan token.
Yeah, that'll be
Demonstrated
the
by the
monkey.
2. Ethan, I believe, does have the Ragavan token. I wonder where it is.
Is that Earthshaker Kenra not attacking?
Oh. I wonder if Trent's going to let this in. It did look like he didn't declare the attack with it to begin with. Trent's pretty chill about this kind of thing, even in top 8. I have to imagine he's pretty okay with it.
So what's the story then? Watcher can't block? That's got to be it, right?
Equal to power or less, I believe. Or so it does look like it's making the Watcher unable to block. He's got these Geodudes in hand.
So if you block a 2 and a 2, you're taking 1, 2, 3, 4?
He's got a lot of life to work with. He could maybe put both of them on the 2/1 Kenra and the 1/1 Werewolf. So trying to make trades take a little bit more damage this turn, but see how we go.
Sorry, just a short interlude in the booth there. I mean, we're doing just as much thinking as Trent is over here.
By the looks of it, for sure.
Yeah, it's a tough spot. I mean, both players very light on cards in hand. Ethan's only got one, Trent's got two.
Looks like two, including the known Hydro Blast on the table there. Yeah, this is a tough decision. Trent, obviously a big Magic fan. You can see that tattoo on his wrist there.
Yeah.
Huge fan.
I think Trent's stressing about the Barbarian Ring.
Yeah, it looks like 4 cards in Ethan's graveyard. That's Barbarian Ring is Threshold, so 7 cards total in graveyard, I believe. Yep.
Alright,
Looks like
both the 2/1s. Take 4 damage, go to 12.
Yeah. So it's saving an extra point here, but quote-unquote trading with the token that is going to get exiled anyway, instead of, say, you know, the human half of the werewolf, the 1/1 creature there. Really values preserving that extra life point. See how that works.
There's not much in the way of life gain. You know, there's just the 3 main deck cards and Scavenging Ooze. So 4 main deck cards.
Yep. Having said that, that is a lot, but he does have to find those cards in a singleton format. That's not obviously not free.
He's also got to resolve.
Also true.
You know, not in the way of counter spells, but like Scavenging Ooze can resolve here. It can't eat anything.
Yeah, yeah. His mana is definitely a little off. Does look like he's putting the sword on the Watcher and getting in though.
Get in the red zone, buddy.
Well,
in for 4.
If you do think about it, the deal 2 damage here is going to kill something.
Exactly.
I would imagine the Zergo.
That's the same as blocking.
The same as blocking,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I think you're killing the Zergo if you're
Get a card.
If you're not casting a spell, because you've got the Village Messenger to stress about that might transform.
Which is why, it was interesting to see not trading for that with the token last turn. But the life point's obviously very relevant. Something interesting here, Trent tapped his 1 blue source to equip the sword rather than the basic planes, tapping himself out of Hydro Blast, because I believe he does have that path. I think I did see a path before. That is going to...
That's telegraphed.
That is going to put off some alarm bells in Ethan. Ethan
well
is
and truly.
Absolutely a good enough player to realise this.
I mean, Ethan's a good enough player to recognise that Trent is a good enough player to not make the mistake.
Go around with this for a while.
Yeah.
It might also be something like there are more blue sources to draw off the sword trigger here.
Sure.
And he only has 1 basic island by the looks of it. All right. Does have a Volcanic Island too, maybe already had the Volcanic Island in hand.
Possible.
Yeah, definitely makes that a lot more obvious of a play then. But who's to say?
Maybe it's a mind game. Maybe he doesn't have the path and he's just... I do think I saw it, but maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's just an incredibly good bluffer. Right this second. He's like, untap my planes, think about it.
I'm not... I'm...
Alright,
Does look like a path. I am definitely partial to some bluffing. I did tap and untap my Underground Sea a couple of times in an earlier round with absolutely nothing to cast. Gotta put on a bit of a show, you know.
Yeah. Here's my trick, right? Good. Just never think about any play.
Just jam, always jam.
And then your opponent doesn't know if you've got the answer or not, because you're never thinking.
I'm a big fan of not thinking. I do like that play.
I love not thinking.
Huge fan.
That's how I got to where I am. In the booth, not in the top 8.
I mean, I could say the same about me as well, so, you know. Can't complain too much, though.
There was some tension there on that path to exile, back to the game.
Interesting that he main phased this to give Ethan the extra mana this turn.
I mean, counterpoint, there's a werewolf in play.
Oh, it was his only cast spell this turn, of course. I forgot that he did spend the mana on moving a creature that was already
3
played,
lands tapped. We're
for
talking about a 1-drop spell. Difficult to...
Yep.
You know?
So, path the Courage, leave him with this 1/1, getting in with said 1/1.
I mean, it's not going to block.
Yeah, definitely not blocking.
Now, this Watcher for Tomorrow sucks with the card underneath it. Like,
it's never going to die.
It's never dying.
That's a shame, honestly.
Yeah.
Only a 4/3, protection from Ethan's deck.
Misplays here from Trent. Not going to be able to get that card.
A tragedy. Though, when he puts another creature into play, if he does so, he can move the sword into that, and the Watcher is live. Looks like a light up.
Light up the stage.
Let's see if Ethan does what I was mentioning before, and shows the chat how he puts his cards under light up.
I would be real big on blasting this right here.
Yeah, I'm a massive fan.
Yeah.
I don't... It depends on the matchup, of course. I'm not a huge fan, typically, of countering divinations.
He's buried under this sword.
Yeah. Against the red deck, where the divinations are obviously very few, maybe just this card is sorted.
If you,
source
you know,
of card
you've got
advantage.
one card each, you're ahead on board. The divination
Yeah.
is so much bigger for them.
Absolutely. Yeah, in this exact spot and against the red deck in general, I
Yeah.
think it's majority cases probably correct to not let the light at the stage resolve, but in, say, a blue mirror.
And if he was behind on board, maybe there's an argument for not.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, if this sword wasn't here, it was just a naked watcher, then that's a little different.
Yeah.
And it's a discussion. But
Yeah, maybe he's on, 4 or 5 life and he has to hold the Hydro Blast for burn. That's going to go face something like a Fire Blast. And he
or
just
a,
has
or
to...
a forked bolt. I mean,
or a Forked Bolt by the looks of it. Yeah, he could definitely hold the Hydro Blast and, cross his fingers that Ethan's light at the stage hits are nothing special.
Yep.
There are a ton of spots where it's definitely a conversation. I think that spot is definitely warranting the Hydro Blast for sure.
for sure.
I like that a lot.
Keep the status quo because you're so far ahead.
So it looks like an attack, a basic forest by Trent.
He's drawn the 3 basics as well.
Yeah, the basics, yep. May have fetched one earlier. Yeah, the basics are very good against the Blood Moon draws for sure.
And Price of Progress here.
Absolutely, Price of Progress,
Trent's on 9. This messenger, which I definitely know the name of the backside.
Does look like it's flipped this one, yeah.
This
So getting in...
Moonrise Intruder, it's
the
coming
Moonrise
across for
Intruder.
2, putting Trent to 7. So if one of those lands was non-basic, you'd have a 6-point Price of Progress.
Price
So
is
this would
getting
be
there, yep.
A game.
Looks like definitely enough for Threshold in the bin here, so
Yep.
this Barbarian Ring is active.
Was that a Mutavault?
It is a Mutavault for the draw step for sure. Puts it upside down, showing that it has something thick. He's not going to make the mistake of trying to attack with it. So
because the Mutavault plus
can block.
Barbarian Ring.
Oh, also can try and get in for a cheeky lethal or something here.
Ooh, No, it could kill the Watcher.
Yeah, the Mutavault blocking, yep, for
And
sure.
so, the Mutavault's a 2/2. The Barbarian Ring is
That's a
colorless 2
4/3,
damage.
Yep. Can
That's
also,
cheeky.
yeah, Trent is pausing now. He's realised this as well.
The brick wall.
Barbarian Ring being a colourless source of damage is massive here for sure.
Yeah.
Does look like he's getting in though.
Happy to trade it for 2 lands. Maybe just any piece of interaction in hand.
We
a
were-
counter spell or removal spell.
We were making the joke before about Watcher never getting this card. Looks like he's getting this card.
We told Trent it was
The
a
hard
mistake.
way, the hard way.
And Trent's like, no, I'll get it. Don't worry.
He's keen on this card.
Yeah,
Doesn't...
that's right.
Yeah, Ethan's play here is fantastic. Waiting until the end step, not giving Trent the option of drawing, say, if the card was an Oko or an Uro or some
Yes.
main face Haymaker.
That's
Doesn't
right.
give him the option to play it this turn.
And all of
2 damage.
All of Trent's life gain is Sorcerer Speed.
It is.
Oh, Lutri,
Mountain
baby.
off the top. Looks like the only card in hand for Ethan now is the Lutri.
Yep.
Oh, 5-4 for Lifetiles here. This is close.
I mean,
2/2 Menace is nothing to be laughed at here.
this is a big medical, but can you imagine if Trent had Dryad Arbor in his deck?
Oh, that would be nice.
He doesn't, which is very much
Tragic.
signified here by not fetching it.
For sure.
But that would have been a lethal attack. That would have been
yeah, with this sort. Oh, Ponder is a
1
nice
+2
find
+2.
here.
Yeah, Ponder's great.
Is this...
I think this is a slow roll.
He's slow rolling. That Snow-Covered Forest is in play. He's moved it back
Yes.
to make it look like it might be in his hand, but it is in play, I believe. Trent's life dice still says 7. I believe he's on 5, though.
He's on 5,
Did
yeah.
just take a 2-point hit from this werewolf here.
Trent's not a big fan of the coverage life dice.
Come on, Trent.
But I mean, the game actions have been slow enough here that I have been able to keep up, and Ethan's been updating him every few actions. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Ethan is very good at, clear and concise board state, making sure everybody's on the same
Yeah.
page about what's going on.
it's hard for me to catch up when they get 10 life total changes behind. But
Makes it a little bit
with
hard.
Ethan keeping it within 1 or 2 changes.
Yeah, Ethan's still being on 5 for his life total dice as well. I didn't notice until just now. Look, it's okay. Here in the booth, we're pretty good at this, I feel like.
I mean,
so.
look, he could be on 5. I think I'd change it for a Barbarian Ring.
He might actually be on 5 because Barbarian Ring does deal damage for tapping it, but he did sacrifice it to
It's
use the ability.
sacrificed now, so 5 or 4. Caster Vision. What's the play? That looks like Scavenging Ooze.
That would be a phenomenal hit here. Doesn't
Ooh.
save him on the face of it, but goes a long way to stabilizing here.
I don't know if it's good enough.
So Trent has basic forest in play. What can this Windswept Heath get in the way of a untapped green? I believe the Tundra and the Savannah are in the graveyard from the Wasteland effects
very true.
before.
The Savannah's gone. There must still be a tropical island, though.
There might be, yeah, it looks like,
There's a
looks like he
breeding
doesn't
pool.
have a trop. Dealing 2 damage to gain 1 life.
We saw that before. The breeding pool got dazed back in Trent versus Trent. That was
Also
not
happened in
where
one of
you
my
wanna
matches
be.
yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That was on stream. I had to
It
make
was.
a poison counter.
No, that.
You know what I had to make today? There was a
Let's
draw.
hear it. An unintentional draw.
Just Trent versus Trent.
Price of progress.
Char. 42 to me.
Close. These red decks play so many effects that can draw a game.
Right.
Looks like Ethan's drawn a Fiery Islet. It is a land and not a spell, but it's not the worst land he could have drawn.
Yeah,
It's not another basic for sure.
That's a great draw.
Looks like Ethan is playing.
Where are we in the turn? All right, it has flipped back. Okay.
Yes.
I was like, that werewolf better be on the front side here.
It absolutely has, yes. Looks like Ethan is playing his non-foil version of his mono red deck. I've just realised he does in fact own the deck in nearly fully foil Russian.
Okay.
And the entire deck also in non-foil for when he doesn't want to take all of his expensive cardboard out of his house.
So Trent, I've been in this situation as Trent where, you're on a low life total, you crack your fetch land, you pray, do you have a response?
Well,
no? Okay, good.
Ethan has 0 cards in hand, obviously can crack this islet. There's cards like, like you mentioned before, Char, Price of Progress, even Fire Blast. Not sure if Fire Blast is in Ethan's list today.
Okay.
There are a lot of deal 4s, so it was an actual risk there for sure.
And cracking the islet to see if there was a shatter on the top. No such luck.
Picking it up, looks like a Chain Lightning off the top there.
Yeah, okay.
Not going to do a ton. So Trent does get the game 2. So thankfully we get a game 3 here. I love more Magic.
Yeah, more Magic. Now we still don't have access to Ethan's deck list. Unfortunate, but what can you do? I wonder if I can pull up an older deck of Ethan's.
Yeah, might be able to find a little bit of an older one.
The sideboard will still be, relatively similar.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said before, Ethan's version is enough different to the, quote-unquote stock lists.
Yep.
But it's going to have, probably somewhere in the vicinity of 50 to 60 something cards. Majority same.
Yeah,
There are only so many mono red cards in Highlander that are, playable.
Yeah.
There are a ton of good ones though, for sure.
You could definitely, ask 2 different people to build, blue-red prowess. And they would come, 50 out of 60 the same.
Yeah, absolutely. Because obviously Highlander being a 1-0 format, Highlander format. Got that one. There are a ton of really good cards, Lightning Bolt, Brainstorm, Ponder, Predator, all of these cards that are pretty close to automatic inclusions in the decks that they can be played in. And then the last, 10 to 15, however many slots it might be, they are, gets down to it, and then the player choice gets into it a little bit more. But, not playing cards like Brainstorm, pretty close to making an error there, but there are definitely decks that wouldn't want some cards.
Alright, I've got an outdated deck list from Ethan here. So, asterisks, this may or may not be accurate. Here we have Forked Bolt, Grim Lavamancer, Pyroblast, Red Blast, Relic of Progenitus, Abrade, Direfleet, Daredevil, Searing Blood, Shrine of Burning Rage, Smash to Smithereens, Karizev's Expertise, Lutri, Molten Rain, Sulfuric Vortex, Traitorous Blood.
Traitorous Blood, is that a threaten effect?
It's a threaten that puts a +1 counter on it, I believe.
Puts a counter on your opponent's creature you take for a turn.
Nope, I was wrong. It gains Trample. Traitorous
Trample.
Instinct is the one that gives
I
you
see.
+1
That's an
counter.
interesting design. I haven't seen that card before.
Yeah, I played that one in Standard and stole Undying Threats.
Oh, that's cute. I do
Steal your
like
Strangleroot Geist. You can have it back now.
Doesn't,
Put a 1/1 counter.
Love that. So it looks like this might be pretty similar. I don't think Ethan's list has changed, kind of changed by 15, 20 cards.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a Forked Bolt in the sideboard, which we did see in that game.
We have seen that. We've also seen Searing Blood in that game. So
no Searing Blaze.
Searing Blaze might be a main deck card, perhaps.
Not in this list.
No, interesting.
So,
what's the big difference between Searing Blood and Searing Blaze? I get Blaze you need land for.
Yeah, Searing Blood does 2 to the creature. Searing Blaze does 3.
Yep.
But if you don't
to
have
face,
but if you don't have landfall, then Searing Blaze is 1 and 1.
Yeah. So Ethan's deck, not playing a ton of lands. I'm not sure on exact count of lands. Maybe something like, in the vicinity of 18 to 20 possibly. Obviously with a Mox for sure. Mox not counting for landfall, though. That is something to consider.
Yep, does count for prowess.
Does count for prowess, but yeah, what the only thing over a basic mountain that Mox Ruby gives you, right? Just a prowess trigger. Doesn't do a ton else, really.
Nah,
yeah,
it's too expensive. I'll just play them out.
Yeah, that money wise, yes. No, the Moxless versions of Red are not. I don't want to say they're strictly worth. Strictly is not a term
I mean,
I
they
like
spend
using.
the points elsewhere.
Exactly. It's not like they don't have, some equipment, some other really cool cards that they can play. Ethan plays Waste and Strip, but you can play those two cards over Mox Ruby, as an example. A lot of good pointed red cards. But the Mox Ruby is, it is obviously very powerful.
And that's it. I've been featuring some red X aggro-based stuff on my stream lately, and someone asked me, what do you replace Mox Ruby with if you're not a millionaire? I just said straight up...
Not Ethan Bird.
Strip Mine, True Name Nemesis.
In the blue-red version,
In the blue-red version, yeah, True Name is a cool idea.
Waste,
Strip Mine, Waste.
Jitte even.
Clamp and Jitte. Clamping a Goblin Guide is cool.
That is nice.
It's a 3-1. Clamping
They want to kill it. Joke's on them, really.
Clamping a Keldon Marauders, now that's...
Oh, that is a throwback.
It even kills itself.
It does. That's the vanishing creature, is it?
Yeah, that's
the
right.
3-1?
One on the way in, one on the
Love
way out.
that. Yeah, if it somehow gets a +1/+1 counter, it will vanish at some point and draw your cards of Clamp. Looks like Trent is...
It's a 3-3.
It's a 3-3. I thought
it's
3-1.
huge. It's a 2-mana 3-3.
Might be thinking of the wrong card there. Yeah, it's the 2, vanish 3 perhaps. Might be 3. It deals some damage when it ETBs.
Vanishing 2. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's around for 1 attack.
Yeah. Not a ton, but does it ping when it comes into play or leaves, I believe, maybe?
Both.
Yeah. Yeah.
It comes in, deals 1.
Leaves, deals 1. Gets
attacks for 3.
1 attack.
And then pings for 1. So it's just Lava Axe.
It does. It's 2 mana?
2 mana.
Yeah, 2 mana. 2 mana getting for 5. That's some nice
efficiency.
Yeah.
Trent Clarke on a mulligan here.
Looks like Ethan's kept. I want to say kept. Mulligan to 5, maybe. Thank you for the dice, Ethan.
Yeah, this is...
That's not great for Trent. That's tough.
I mean, his deck does have haymakers, if he's got...
Absolutely.
Turn 1 Dork, turn 2 Uro,
Oko.
Yeah.
He can keep a hand with, he's probably mulliganing quite aggressively to the cards that, make a huge difference in the matchup. Things like those cards that we just mentioned.
Exactly.
Cards like Timely Reinforcements. The super spicy Fiery Justice. I want to see that on camera.
He got the other Trent with it before.
Yes.
You could go to 22, it's fine.
Yeah, love that.
Whatever.
We'll get there eventually, but, all your creatures are dead, so...
Yeah.
It's a split deal 5 for anyone that doesn't know. It's a Naya colors. Deals 5 damage split however you'd like. I believe opponent gains 5 life.
Opponent gains 5 life, yeah. So, turn 1 Dork. That's where you want to be.
Good. Ethan's starting on not a haste threat.
Ethan knocks the top of the deck, says Searing Blaze. Or Blood, sorry.
Does Ethan not have another land in hand? I couldn't make it out.
Attacks.
This is going to be interesting if he kept a 1-lander on the play. No Mox. I might have seen another mountain, I'm not sure. We'll see in a second here when he, very obviously will play the land in his second main phase. Does have it. This Karizev, it is the best 2-drop on the play, I think.
This is just standard crap. From both players.
Zergo, Karizev.
Like, mana bases aside, these guys are just playing standard cards.
They absolutely are.
Not current standard, but, standard in the time that I've been playing Magic.
Cards that have been very good in their standard formats. Zergo and Karizev in their respective mono red decks are very good.
Very good.
Obviously, you can't... I don't need to say anything about Pilgrim being very good in its format as well. Any of the mana dorks have just been fantastic.
So here's the thing, right? Pilgrim was alongside Llanowar Elves, and they were both alongside Gavany Township.
Oh.
So,
deck builds itself.
In this deck, you've got Clamp as you're out to, oh no, I drew too many mana dorks, just turn them into cards. In
make
that deck...
2/2s, 3/3s, 4/4s. They pay for themselves to get bigger.
Get there.
Skyclave on turn 2 for the Karizev. That's fantastic play.
Yeah.
Again, Karizev being... I'm not sure if I can say the best 2-drop, but especially on the play, one of, if not the best 2-drop.
Skyclave, not at its best against these red decks.
Absolutely not. It does die to, the litany of bolts in the opponent's deck. But, it's going to give him a 2/2, but getting rid of a 1/3 really difficult to block creature.
Oh, no.
Land Mox Ruby?
Abbot
Slow
of
roll the
Peril
Ruby?
Key.
No. If Ethan did have land Mox Ruby cast this Searing Blood, That would have been something, I swear.
Huge. Instead, we see the Zergo trading with the Skyclave Apparition, the 2/2 coming down.
Looks like a 2/2 Geodude this time. Trent being the great guy that I know he is,
I mean,
lending his Geodude to his
It
opponent.
should be a Graveler.
It should. It's
Yeah.
the second form up.
Yeah, that's it.
Look, I'm gonna have words to Trent after this match, alright? That just seems like a very obvious mistake.
Right?
Doesn't have access to a Graveler card. Maybe a bit too hard to find these days. Looks like a Tarn and a pass.
Okay, what instance
Ooh.
are we screaming here?
Looking at Trent's hand, I think that's Savannah. Looks like another white-bordered card, so probably another duel. And is that Swords to
That is
Plowshares?
Swords to Plowshares.
That he did multi 5 this game, but that hand is not fantastic
Now,
in this spot.
If I'm in Ethan's seat and I haven't seen Trent's deck list, I'm thinking, alright, this is Collected Company, this is Restoration Angel,
Haven't seen Coco Highlander for a while. Yeah, that
this
could
is
definitely be an
Hull
interesting one.
Breacher.
Hull Breacher for sure.
That's what I'm looking at here. Like,
Yeah.
why is he just passed? I mean, granted, it was a mulligan to 5.
Absolutely, yeah.
I would be-
Need to keep some sketches on 5 to try and get there.
I'd be living in fear of Collected Company.
Yeah, for sure. There's a bunch of cards that he could have here. I haven't seen a Collected Company Highland for a little while.
We haven't actually seen a expensive creature out of Trent yet.
No, I haven't
Last
seen an
game
Oko or
was-
an Uro or anything. He just
Last
won
game
with
was-
Sword.
Yeah, tokens and Watcher for Tomorrow
Yeah.
and Dorks. No, we didn't see Questing Beast, Omnath, Palace Jailer, Glorybringer, Titania.
None of his
Everything-
haymakers. For
Everything
sure.
we've seen fits under Collected Company.
It does, absolutely does. Depends on how much Ethan knows about his opponent's deck list here.
Yeah.
So it looks like I feel like this is going to be Pilgrim block Abbott and maybe use
Right.
that mana to sword the 2/2. Hope his opponent doesn't have a spell for prowess.
Sure.
It is a tough ask.
That seems like a reasonable
He's just
take
taking
here.
both.
Uh,
I can't. That is definitely.
I mean, here's the counterpoint, right? If you block here, and then your next draw is Birthing Pod,
No, I think not blocking with Pilgrim is absolutely defensible. I think blocking with the Pilgrim here might just be wrong.
Sure.
So I really like Trent's play there actually, but it's definitely a conversation. But no, I'm confused. If Trent does have Swords to Plowshares, it is Swords. He took 2 points extra to see what Ethan would do with the rest of his turn. That is showing a lot of restraint.
a lot of respect.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a lot of creatures that Ethan could cast there that would demand the swords instead of just a 2/2 creature.
Rampaging Ferocidon.
Something like it for us.
God, that
Absolutely.
card's
Looks like it is so good. Ethan adding Lutri to hand.
Young Pyromancer would be another one.
Yeah, for sure. I don't believe Ethan plays or is a massive fan of Young Pyromancer in general. He likes his 2-mana creatures to be a bit more impactful.
Sure.
And even though Mono Red is usually a pretty instant sorcery dense deck, I think Ethan's is very creature heavy.
Sure.
Obviously does have a lot of burn spells, but probably less than the typical.
And Trent once again just land go.
So I believe that I didn't quite see what Trent drew for turn. The other card I believe is also a dual land. I think I did see a white border.
Now this turn, I'm not worried about Collected Company at all.
Yeah, definitely not. If it didn't come out last turn,
Yeah.
Unless he ripped it off the top, yep. And yeah, I feel like Ethan would be aware that his opponent does not have a card like Collected Company in the deck. Ethan is definitely the sort of person that would probably have a bit of a look around the room. He's very competitive.
And he's playing Mono Red, so he's got the time.
Absolutely, absolutely. Can't name the last time I saw Ethan going anywhere near time. I'm not going to lie. Does play the deck very well. Makes very quick decisions. A lot of it is ingrained in him. He doesn't have to think a lot to make the best play. He knows.
I mean, he's thinking here. He's thinking.
Yeah, definitely does have to think, but yeah.
He's either thinking about a prowess card. I think I see a Pyroblast in hand. He's considering whether just a Pyroblast and non-blue permanent just for the prowess.
Did Trent already declare a block? Is that
Yes.
what? Yeah. Okay.
Or
Missed
he's
that
thinking
Price of progress.
about feigning a prowess card. But here
Yeah.
is one. Okay.
So
That's going to crack the Scolding Tongue.
Ethan has one non-basic. Excuse me.
Yep.
This is Savannah Tundra. I can't see the land that's under Trent's hand currently.
Scolding Tongue.
Is that a Tarn?
So
Is it
that's
Tundra?
going to get cracked this turn.
Yeah, definitely going to be getting a basic island, I'd imagine. Here, tapping a Tundra. I don't know what this is from Trent. Dispel. Okay, this
That's
was a card.
Good one.
This
That's
was a
in
card that I
outside.
wasn't sure if Trent would bring in from the sideboard.
Yeah. that's a
Pyroblast
good-
back for another prowess trigger.
Okay, I mean the second prowess
doesn't-
trigger doesn't mean too much.
No, it already has been blocked. That is correct.
And Price of Progress
Here
on
is the
screen
island.
there,
Yeah.
such a beating in this format.
Yeah, very good
in
against
any format.
Yeah, very good against these decks like the one Trent is playing. You know, skimping on basics, only 3 basic lands, has to play a lot of basics for a lot of non-basics, excuse me, to warrant playing all of these, you know, 3 and 4 color
And
cards.
I think Ethan's big think there was, am I going to draw another land to Lutri this Price of Progress?
Yeah, for sure. That is definitely something that he would tank on for a little bit there. Definitely a difficult decision. I think if he didn't Price of Progress there, it's interesting if Trent would have fetched say, a tapped shock land at the end of the turn.
Yep.
Looks like a light up the stage hitting Copter Strip Mine, not bad.
Okay, strip mine, you know, normally you've got this tension, like, do you strip mine the non-basic? Is that going to make my Price of Progress worse?
Having seen the price already.
Already cast the price. Just get him off the colours.
And as you can see, like I mentioned before, Ethan has his light up the stage sitting over there and his Copter on top of it. Very, very clear about where this Copter is.
Yep. It's in the same zone as that Searing Blood you see at the top of the screen.
It is.
But it's under different rules.
Yes. It is castable. The Searing Blood, on the other hand, not castable.
Yeah, the last one, you know, Searing Blood was castable for a period of time.
Off the Abbot, yep.
And now this one is castable for a period of time. Plateau.
Taiga. Oh,
Taiga?
Plateau? I believe that's a Taiga. I can't see it super well. It looks like his Tundra just got strip mined by Ethan at the end of the turn.
It's almost certainly a Taiga, I say, as I pull up the Plateau art.
That Taiga may have been the other white border land I saw in, I believe I saw before. This mana situation, he's got single island and then 3 non-blue sources. Might make it a bit hard to cast some of his spells.
Yes and no, there's not that many double blue spells in the deck. You got Jace, you got Counter Spell Proper, and then you've just, you know, got Cantrip into blue spell.
Yeah, I was more thinking along the lines of double spelling with blue spells, like a Ponder or Preordain, Brainstorm into, you know, one of these other blue spells that you could be digging for.
Reveals his face down trap card. It was Path to Exile. That land is relevant. There is a Lutri in hand. There is a Ramanap Ruins in play. That's the 5th land for that.
Yep, that's red 2 to activate, I believe.
That is correct. And
so
you
sacrifice a desert?
Any desert you want.
Of which Ethan obviously has many.
Even your opponent... No, not your opponent's ones.
I'm not going to lie, I would be playing that card if that's what it did.
Yeah, can you imagine that standard format?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll sack your desert. No, I'll sack...
Got to make sure your opponent's playing some deserts, but you know, in this format, who wouldn't be playing the broken desert cards?
No, in
right?
Magic, you're not allowed to sacrifice your opponent's things.
Copter. Yep. So Ethan does have the Lutri in hand to crew this Copter in the next turn if he wants to do that. He has Lutri and 2 unknowns by the look.
That's more cards than I expected.
This is... that was actually a very good draw. That's Masked Vandal.
Ooh.
It's from the new set, I believe. It's 1/3 Shapeshifter, Changeling, whichever of those. Maybe both.
Definitely both, yes.
Definitely both.
And many other types as well.
Yeah. But maybe even all of them. Who's to say?
Every creature type. Even
He's
the
a
ones that
very
don't
good
exist
blocker
yet.
and does get that Copter so he can't get attacked by this turn. Then Ethan has his holdings where 6th land Lutri skewer the critics. So he gets to Dome Trent for 3 and kill his blocker and produce a 3/2, and that's
Build
enough.
your own
by the looks of
Searing
it.
Blades.
That
Wow.
was tough. Yeah, it looks like it was lethal from the Lutri attack plus Ramanap X Ruins activation.
And Trent, you know, not going to expect his opponent to miss the Ramanap Ruins.
Of all people, I would never expect Ethan to miss that.
Exactly. And if he did, honestly, Trent's a nice guy. Trent
He
would be
is,
like,
he is.
no, this is why I'm snapping it up. You know,
Absolutely.
You've got the thingy there. It does 2 damage. I can't counter it.
Look, I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't blame Ethan for slow rolling there if he, really wanted to. I don't know what he's playing around. But
Sure.
No,
Blessed Alliance.
true.
Big fan.
Instant speed life game, which is...
Big fan.
Yeah. Of all people to mention Blessed Alliance, I think you, of all people, are the biggest proponent of Blessed Alliance.
It's
for
so
sure.
good.
It is a good card, I'm not going to lie.
Oh,
It does
man.
kill True Name Nemesis.
It
Sometimes.
does.
Sometimes.
All right, well, that's going to do us for the round of 8. We'll be back soon with the top 4.
Very exciting.
Make sure you stick around. Brendan, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. It was fun.
And I'll see you... that's the wrong button. That one.